Why, hello, everybody. It is great to see you guys. We are on episode 21 of the Bing Podcast.
Old enough to drink.
Old enough to drink. In the U.S.
Finally!
In the U.S. In other countries, we were able to drink episodes ago.
Now you tell me.
It's a weird world we live in. So I'd like to welcome everyone to the Bin Podcast. We are live on Facebook and Twitch now, as I heard. Very, very fun. YouTube and other such wonderful streaming apps. Mixer. Thank you, Mikey, for setting that up for us. I want to thank you personally for working so hard and being here early to do this.
Nothing better to do.
So if you can, everybody, you can like and share our videos and, join in our conversation with us. You can also, if you really want to help us out, you can go to patreon.com/thebinpodcast and become one of our patrons. We still have our wonderful 5 patrons that we know and love. So Austin,
Woo!
love you. Kristen, love you.
Make out with you later.
He's all the way in Scotland, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, me too. I'm in with that. I'm down with that. I'm
Guys,
like to do that.
shut up.
Hey, now.
We have Puffalopagus,
Who's in the background right now behind you.
who is not a freeloader, which we love. Richard, who is a friend, and then of course Stuart. So please go to patreon.com/thebinpodcast, become a patron, give us $1, and you'll have access to specials and early access to different episodes that we have. And if you get high enough on the tier, you can join us for our monthly hangouts. Which is just a blast. Just, drink what you want, eat what you want.
Everyone's keys go in the bowl.
Pretty much. That's how we roll around here. So thank you. And let's get on with our lovely show today. Nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about.
Well, nothing has really happened, has it?
Nothing. I don't even know.
Why are we even doing these shows every week, like, when there's nothing going on?
I've been watching my toenails grow. Fantastic.
Have you? Have they gotten any longer?
A little bit.
I have.
It's probably raised him up about maybe an inch or something.
Oh, he's 5'6" now.
I have noticed that Wayne is dramatically faster at climbing trees since he let his toenails grow out.
Is that true, Wade? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
You're climbing.
No comment.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what are we drinking tonight? Let's start with our lovely Brenna. What are you drinking?
I have nothing today.
Not even water?
No, I just
Too
because
strong for her.
it's
Are
actually
you one of these weird Los Angeles juice cleanses again?
no. Why?
Okay.
Why would
Just
I do
making
something
sure.
like that? I have been. I do have shakes that I really like. They're like protein, fiber, organic ones, but I just didn't feel like having anything to drink right now. I'm just gonna let you guys just get whatever blasted that you're going to get, and I get to reap the reward of watching you guys. Maybe I'll grab a soda or something later, but I am completely liquid free.
Unprofessional.
Yeah, that kind of goes against the brand, you know. Like we're all drinking. And here you are.
Excuse me, do not tell me what to do. It is my body, my choice.
Well, you could smile a bit more, though.
Let's say she's smiling. Take that as at least one scratch in the win category.
Going.
God damn it. HR, where's Dr. Emma?
In the can.
She's on my board.
Oh my God.
We
Dr. Emma, we love you. Please, if you need anything, reach out to us. Please, we are here for you. Plus, I need my HR department.
I'm drinking a green beverage, which is what I always drink, and I don't drop the name of it because they're not paying me shit. So Bacardi and Monster, if you guys want to sponsor me,
give us a call. We'll set you up.
we're ready.
Perfect.
I've never had Bacardi and Monster. If you call us, I'll make sure I have a Bacardi and Monster next week.
Here we go.
There we go.
Wayne, what you got there, Wayne?
Oh my God. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Self-explanatory.
Okay.
It just says Merlot. That's all it says.
No, but you have to read the
Dollar
label.
store.
Hang on. Let me turn
You
the light
have to
You got it from the
read
dollar
the
store.
label.
Grape drink.
on. There you go.
It's just,
love
it's just
that.
Merlot.
No, it says I heart Merlot.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Your
Plus, you got it at a gift shop in Georgia.
Merlot France. It's like the island NYC.
Oh, it's the cheapest of the cheap. It's lovely.
What you got
It's
there?
like $2 Chuck.
Listen here, Mike. I got peaches, blackberries, blueberries, and pineapples in a smoothie. That's my breakfast today. Eating healthy, losing weight.
Healthy.
Yeah, boy.
You feel me?
Yeah, I'm trying to be cool and healthy.
I don't need to be as fat as Wayne is short.
Like I deliberately didn't attack you, Wayne. I deliberately attacked him, and he took that bitch like I don't know.
Deflected it.
It's like
This is good.
It's like in soccer, not football, soccer. When they do it, they jump backwards, bicycle, means red face.
That was good. I mean, it was pro. Hey, my HR department. I have some complaints, and there's 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we just lost Brenna's mic. Oh, wow.
Shame.
Everybody say hi to Dr. Emma. She needs to go now.
Oh, man, the feet got all scratched. I'm hearing it from the studio in the background. The
Okay.
producers are saying that.
Mila!
There's Shotter's.
Ah.
Eden, do you want to come and say hi to Shotter's friends?
Oh my gosh, those are cute.
All these small people.
Those are so adorable. Tiny humans. I love it.
They're really little.
All right.
There's another tiny human.
We are
The HR department is off the clock now, so
Yep.
any complaints you have are good from now on.
We are 18 plus, so I need you to get those children off the stream.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Don't drink and drive.
David is saying he can't hear me. Hi, David.
Keep going,
I can
girls.
adjust that.
He's a lucky person.
Yeah.
No, are we having technical problems over there? Wayne? Do you need me to help you fix your technical?
Are you saying it's Shotter's?
Your technical issues.
Look at Mikey wielding his power.
Absolute power corrupt.
I think that.
Absolutely. All right.
So we got on it.
So that's how you handle HR.
Yeah, you just smile at him and wave him right out of the room.
Or you just give them shit ton of booties and
No.
Go.
No.
Send
I
him on the way.
disapprove. I disapprove.
Hey, you were the one who nominated her, not me.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Is that better, David?
But you don't get to do things to my HR like that.
To be
I
fair,
didn't
Mikey,
do
last-
anything.
You fed her booze.
There's no rule
It
against
was
bribing
not
HR.
Gone to her head.
Is there a rule against bribing HR? Because I don't remember us signing anything saying that we wouldn't bribe HR.
Nope. So tonight I'm having sparkling water, as always.
Please don't lie to our people out there.
No, you can lie to
You
them.
would fucking believe that, even if it was true.
we will be like one of these sites, all fake news providers.
Yes. Yeah, they're gonna
I'll
have
do
to. They're gonna have to, tag us as fake news.
Yeah,
No, that's
phone
fine.
just came home.
I'm pretty sure they already have.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask. There we go. So
Yeah,
that's
Mikey, you're in the last recording. Your voice was pretty low.
So apparently I haven't been loud enough.
Can I mute Mikey?
Nah, not today.
No, I think you have to be a co-host in order to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't giving
Can
up
I
the
be
keys.
can I be co-host?
No, I wasn't giving up the keys to the castle today.
All right.
All right. So our first issue to talk about is Wayne. Wayne's just been, he's on this hot streak where everything he says and does kind of. I had to mute you, Cortez, because Baby Girl's talking. He's been on the ball, on the money as of late. It's very frustrating. It's irritating. It's annoying. But dues, I mean, you got to give the man his fair dues. Tell us about your football team, Wayne.
Yeah, well, it's just about the entire.
Thank
Premier
you for
League.
watching the Bin podcast.
Mute it. Right. So the Premier League returned yesterday, and the Premier League have done a really, really good thing in the sense of they've replaced the players' names on the back of their shirts with the slogan Black Lives Matter. They've also highlighted on the chest of the shirts the NHS symbol in the heart, and we paid tribute to all of the key workers, all of the frontline workers, and all of the people who have lost their lives through COVID at the start of. It's going to be stuck. The first 12 matches, it's all going to be a minute silence, but also in conjunction with that, at the start of every game, the ref blows a whistle. Every single player took the knee.
Wow.
Every single one. So that's how you do it, America. That's how you show solidarity. Right? There was no, I'm not doing it. It's disrespecting someone. No, it's just showing solidarity. It's not an offensive thing. It's just literally dropping to your knee and showing that, yeah, Black Lives Matter. That's all it's about. And why we can do it over here, and it's not controversial with some people, but it just happens. It's just done. We're showing our gratitude to the NHS and the key workers that have lost their life by doing a minute silence. And we're also showing solidarity to the Black Lives Matter call by everyone simultaneously taking the knee. No ifs, buts, or maybes. It's just done. And Mikey, would you please show video?
I have a clip. Let me swish, wash, 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 and then share screen over meow, over to this one, and booyakasha. And before I press play, I have to hit this button, and then this button, and then I'm going to push this button, and we should be golden.
Special delivery. There you go.
What is
Enjoy.
What is happening?
Wow.
Mute Charlton.
HR just brought me a beer.
Whoa. HR taking care of biz.
It's actually Emma's husband's own brew.
Ah, wonderful.
I think I'm sponsored now.
It's going to be the greatest trip when we all go to Sweden and we all
my
just
God.
raid Jartan's entire street.
It's gonna be like the dwarves when they came in on the Hobbit and just ate everything.
It's just
Where's my cheese?
All right, here we go.
Back on the pitch after months of shutdown. Goals weren't the only thing that teams looked to mark in Birmingham Wednesday, as Aston Villa took on Sheffield United in the first Premier League match since mid-March. The names on players' jerseys replaced with the words Black Lives Matter. Players took a knee in support of the growing worldwide anti-racist movement brought to a recent head by the repeated killings of unarmed black men by American police forces. In Manchester, as in Birmingham, Man City and Arsenal also paid tribute to frontline workers and victims of COVID-19 with a minute of silence, before themselves taking a knee to protest racism. Man City manager Pep Guardiola acknowledging the scope of the problem.
I feel ashamed what we have done for these marvelous black people around the world. It's not a problem about the USA and United States of America. What happened for Mr. Floyd, I think it's the problem of racism is in everywhere.
English football will continue with Black Lives Matter jerseys and kneeling for the first 12 matches of the restart. The Premier League, like football worldwide, has long been marred by racist incidents at its matches. English anti-discrimination charity Kick It Out noted that reports of racist abuse rose by 43% in the 2018-2019 season.
Well, there you go.
thank you for sharing.
And that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like Wayne. I'm not a fan of him. I don't like
I
his,
feel like,
I don't like his face. But damn.
I don't like how short he is.
His height offends me. It's but that literally choked me up a little bit. And Wayne, my birthday's coming up very soon. I really need one of those jerseys.
Well, you want an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of them.
I would send you one of my old ones, but it'd drown you.
I need it in a medium, not an extra medium, which is what you wear. I need it for an adult, not a youth.
Can I just say that somebody commented on Mixer saying short lives matter, so we should leave Wayne alone for a while.
Short lives matter. That's not right. Wayne's average height.
San 42, you just won the internet. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not supposed to read the comments, but you fucking won.
That was good.
I like
Good,
that.
good.
Fucking, that's how you fucking do some shit.
Yeah, that's a real, like, a way of showing solidarity in a quiet, peaceful, fantastic way that just impacts people and puts a positive light on a movement who has gotten a lot of fucking positive, negative publicity from right-wing media. This is just amazing. I fucking love it. It's just a good way to show support. I love it. I yeah.
Miss Brenna,
Yes.
your thoughts?
My thoughts? Well, I mean, I could say like Arsenal sucks. Is that no?
Can you smile while you're saying it?
We get HR back.
Anyway,
Offended him.
Attack.
Fucking hell! Oh Jesus Christ!
I think that's fantastic. I think I got emotional during that because
Same.
it's something that we here in the United States will never get to that point because we are a bunch of idiots And we could very easily get back to, back to our sports and entertainment, as well as being able to address these problems, especially because they mix they have the Black Lives Matter as well as, the deaths due to COVID of frontline workers. That is emotional when you get to see that, as well as get to see the Black Lives Matter shirts. And I think that we here in America either need to step up and do something like that to really show, especially in the NFL. But we're never going to get this because we're a bunch of, there's just too many people who are in control of the money, the sports, the media, the paychecks of these people.
Well, here's the contrast that
And still, Arsenal sucks. So I'm just gonna.
No, the Arsenal is awesome. Look, Brenna, you're gonna stop with all of your rivalries right now. We lost Kobe Bryant, and I hated Kobe, and I hated LeBron, and then I lost Kobe, and my whole world fell apart, and I realized how much I missed that guy. So you stop it. What if something bad happens to them? You're going to feel awful for holding this ridiculous grudge against my new favorite team. How dare you?
Yeah, so...
And Steelers suck too, but that's different.
Here she goes. Tribalism, alive and well in the Ben podcast.
Ragged on. Right, so that's what I would. The contrast that I was thinking of was you had your man, that loser in NASCAR in the truck division that didn't win anything, just there.
He won 0 laps.
I mean, literally loser. Like, never won.
This season, I'm done. Oh, you're done. And also the sort of renaming of the US bases, the military bases, that Trump was like, no, we're having that, because he knows it's going to disrupt his base if they were to do that. And it's just mad how, because like your country was kind of founded on slavery and racism and
by you.
Yeah, but we done one. We was like, no, we don't want that. See you later.
Yeah, the reason why is because you guys stopped.
Yeah,
so you had to put your stolen people somewhere, and so you had to put it on this land that nobody really wanted to deal with.
We were sitting there. We was literally just wiping the blood off our hands and throwing the hanky over the water,
and then making that money because of it.
Yeah.
So at least we agree.
And now we're sort of taking down statues of people that were doing that. What are you doing?
Oh, we fucking up all kinds of statues. Speaking of statues, me and Brenna talked pre-pro. For you guys not in the biz, that's pre-production. We were in our pre-production meeting, and I saw some Twitter support for renaming Columbus, Ohio, after one of its most famous residents, Guy Fieri. They're not going to name the city Fieri, but Flavortown. Flavortown, USA, could be Columbus, Ohio if we played our cards right. They could put up like monuments to dipping sauces that he's tried and restaurants that he's saved. This could happen. It could happen for us. So hashtag Fieri Town.
Do you think that can realistically happen in the climate of America right now?
Am I in like? I don't know.
I'm
what
for it.
That's beer. Am I in a like psychosis right now? Are we really talking about like Guy Fieri time? Really?
I love Guy Fieri. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You don't like him?
He lives in Northern California.
Testicles on his menu. In his
He's
restaurant.
one of
no,
us.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your problem, not mine.
Why you gotta hate on the
Yeah,
man?
I didn't say it was your problem, did I?
Why you gotta hate on the God? He over here just doing his thing, being the best.
No, he just
ambassador he can be.
No, he just makes weird food, and it's weird, and it's not really that interesting. He's just showboating.
I just had to
weird
Google
guy.
him. I don't know.
He's the guy with the bowling shirts. That's that guy with the frosted tips.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's him.
He's like the head of Flavortown, so
He's
everybody.
the mayor of Flavortown.
All right, the head of
knows.
Flavortown. Okay, so
Not everything starts and stops in America, all right? Jesus. There's a big wide world out there,
We're
people.
talking about naming an American town after an American, not a European. You know,
European.
European. That moon, a moon of Jupiter or Saturn?
Jupiter, Europa. Yeah, it's
They would
icy.
be Europeans.
There would be.
And in the coming weeks, we're going to have some planetary talks with a good friend. And maybe we'll talk about ice fishing on Europa.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
So, what's next on the menu?
Next on
I think menu.
next
This
stop
is
on
not. This is not good.
Next
No.
stop on Flavortown.
So in Flavortown, this is a quote. I sucked at making my Yorkshire pudding before getting schooled by Anne. Now they're puffy McMagic, not flat McTragic. She could feed me beef 6 ways to Sunday.
Sounds
Do
great.
you know what Yorkshire pudding is?
Peace, love, and taco grease.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Well, you
California.
American people. Do you know what Yorkshire pudding is?
I don't know if it's fair to call their Russian dressing. It should be called something sexy like liquid Moscow.
These are all
sounds-
quotes from a poet. Like, what do you say?
It was lightning bolt of an
beautiful.
idea in Flavortown that pranked the unprankable mayor, Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
We're
Liquid
cooking
Moscow.
for a big crew of hungry dudes who've been sleeping in a parking lot. Do not think you can get away with fettuccine Alfredo.
All right, hold on, Shark Tank.
Let me just get this in. Liquid Moscow sounds like a specialist movie.
That movie is already
OnlyFans.
up on Pornhub.
OnlyFans.com/Liquid
What do you have?
Moscow.
Yeah, it's Pornhub Premium, mate. It's Pornhub Premium. You have to fucking pay money for that shit.
So we're gonna change gears a little abruptly here and talk
Thank
about
you.
and talk about a different kind of Flavor Town. Brenna.
Okay, so of course, Orange County is very much. We have been in the news for stupidity and
Pornography.
a lot of horrible
MTV.
things. You're not good. Yeah. Okay.
Sodomy.
Oh wait. So you guys are done. You
have-
talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, I apologize. We just miss each other, and we have to get these jokes off.
Yeah. Okay. So there's something that has happened within the last few weeks that kind of hasn't been talked about. And now that we're talking about the violation of human rights, there's a group of people who are being abused, being attacked. And this happened in Huntington Beach, California, right here in Orange County. A man was
Bitch.
a person, a human, unfortunately,
Oh ass motherfucker.
had
luck.
actually put what would only be described as HR. Where are you? This is serious, guys.
I know,
Yeah,
but it
sorry.
got me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Oh wait.
All right.
Okay.
I'm done.
Sorry,
I'm done.
Brenna.
I'm done.
Okay, so this substance, let me see if I can pronounce it. Capsaicin oleoresin, the stuff that is used in police pepper spray, which we have seen, what that does to the human body when it's in contact with eyes and mouth and nose. It causes serious itching, reaction, blood, stuff like that. Well, this highly concentrated version of it was actually placed on food given to homeless individuals in Huntington Beach. And the reaction was seizures. They had, bleeding, internal bleeding. They basically hospitalized. Well, this guy who decided to do this thought it was a challenge, a research moment to feed unknowingly these homeless individuals food that had contained this spicy substance and film it. Well, he was arrested on May 22nd with a $500,000 bail. The latest in this saga was that a homeless man was given this pizza by a man and what seemed to be his son, a child. Turns out that he took a bite of the pizza, knew that there was something wrong, and ended up just, pushing it away. And then another homeless man ended up eating it and having seizures. So not only is this man poisoning these people, but now that there's a minor involved in it. So that adds on to the endangerment of a minor. All I can say is what this capsaicin stuff is a weapon. This person purposely used a weapon on human beings in front of a minor. So now this is 8 misdemeanor counts of adding on 8 felony counts of poisoning and 8 felony counts of a misdemeanor of contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yeah.
Why?
So literally, he sent a kid up with a slice of pizza to a homeless guy saying, "Hi, are you hungry? Would you like to eat this?
Yeah.
I have a meal for you." And then he sat back in the fucking bushes and fucking recorded these people spasming and freaking out from eating pretty much military grade pepper spray, like bear mace.
It's poison.
Yeah.
How do you even get hold of it?
Yeah. Who sold it to him? Let's get some people. Call in right now at 1-800 The Bin Podcast. Tell us where did you sell bear mace sauce to somebody?
And I'm reading this. I'm reading the stuff on this. It is riot control, less lethal weapons, non-lethal weapons, and then there's actual deaths linked to this stuff. Chemical warfare.
And actually,
this is...
And actually, last week I meant to bring this up. A tiny little white girl who was protesting in, I want to say, Minnesota, had an allergic reaction to the pepper spray that they were just dumping on people in droves for no apparent reason. Had respiratory issues, ended up dying. I do not remember the young lady's name, and if I look it up, I'll post it on our Twitter. Pepper spray is not just like that smells really bad. Oh, that's really spicy to my nose. It has respiratory repercussions.
Yeah.
And you can really fuck somebody up by pepper spraying them, especially if they have any sort of allergies to what's going on in there.
Yeah. This is the stuff that they're using on these protesters in an aerosol form. To now dump this stuff and give it to people to see what their reaction would be. What do you think going to happen? They're going to be hospitalized, and we have quite an issue right now in
Ignore it.
Yes. We have an issue right now. We have been trying to figure out how to handle the homeless population correctly. We've had years of litigations with our board of supervisors, which, as you well know, is part of this problem that we have with the masks. We had to sue to get the money that we were required to handle our homeless population. It's horrendous. I mean, it's problematic. It is a violation of human rights that we can just walk around with. Somebody can walk around with a deadly poison and feed it to people.
Right. On purpose.
And this is not something where it's like, oh, it's just like gave it to people and see what happens. He was targeting homeless people.
And he preyed on their vulnerabilities.
Target them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
oh boy,
there's a deeper issue. No. I'm actually serious. There's a deeper issue which is the number of homeless people in your country, right? That's a deeper. Why is your like? I don't want to get into that now because that's not the issue. But the fact that you have such a large population of homeless people is
not only that.
I would say that it's a failure on your part, on your country's part, that you have such a large population of homeless people who has no security net, who has nowhere to turn, who has no home to go to, nowhere to turn to get a home or anywhere to even get help, right? So I'm not saying that makes anything that this man makes right, but we have to also address the fact that you have, of all the civilized countries in the world, you have the largest homeless population, don't you?
Yes.
And also the largest prison population. That's a saying.
Yeah, that's. Our human rights violations are incredible. We have kids in cages still.
Guantanamo Bay.
We have
that's been closed.
More vacant homes in America than we have homeless people. That's what makes no sense.
And we're dealing with trying to figure out affordable housing.
So I didn't want to get into that whole thing about the homeless population, but what I'm trying to say is that
let's do that.
You want to go there? All right.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because the thing is, it's an international problem. Because we have them over here, like Cortez just said. We have so many empty luxury apartments in London, and we have so many homeless people in London, and it's like.
And we have those affordable housing being torn down to put in these luxury housing.
Mm-hmm. And they did that in Chicago, actually. Like maybe 10
they
years
did
ago.
that in San Francisco. It was a big problem. And in LA, they did that. And now here in Orange County, they've been doing that as well. And we have opportunity to do that. We have opportunity to build proper affordable housing. I mean, our housing, one bedroom apartment is as much as a house in Texas right now.
Yeah.
And the way that we treat people who need lower income housing is as if they were diseased, and we know how people deal with diseases. It's just easier to. In violation of the rules, we all agreed on this.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we all agreed on this. Violation of the rules.
Sorry.
Zartan, have you got something sensible to contribute to this conversation?
Yeah, I do. Because this can be sold very easily, right? It has been sold around the world very, very easily by having the state or the government build housing and make sure that everybody has somewhere to house. That you actually have a law that says.
How about not cutting SNAP benefits? How about
I don't know what SNAP benefits. I don't know what that is. I live in a civilized
food
country.
stamps.
I don't know what that. Yeah.
Food stamps.
But you shouldn't have to have like fucking food stamps. Have things that are like given to you from the state that the state tells you have to buy food for this. Like you should be able to. All right, you can't get a job because of this and that, and you're not eligible for this and that. All right, we'll help you out to get on your feet, but we're not going to like earmark money or give you food stamps. Like, here's the money and make do.
And our biggest contributor to poverty and homelessness is health.
Yeah. And
because we have a lack of a national version of healthcare or a way that everybody can go from one place to another without. Yeah, shut up, Wayne. You don't flex.
No, but not only that. Not only
got
that.
him. Got him. Everybody drink.
No. But not only that, because Dr. Emma made this point like the last time she was on, and when you have privatized healthcare, right, and you come in and you've got a headache, the privatized healthcare has an incentive to give you exams that you don't really need because they're going to get paid through your insurance to make those exams, right?
Yeah.
So when there's an incentive for them to make money, they are going to give you exams that you don't really need.
Yeah.
And the people who really need those exams are not going to get those because they don't have the right insurance to get those.
Well, so, and then there's other health things that are happening. Mental health is something it's a stigma here. Addiction, which nobody understands how to deal with it. There's half of the people think that it's a mental health issue, which means that it should be taken care of by hospitals, and it's a healthcare, which it should be dealt with that. Some people believe it's a societal issue, so it should not be dealt with by healthcare, which means that those people who cannot afford their own now need to do a version of Medicare or a public option. Now they shouldn't be given that money because it's not healthcare. It's a societal problem. It's a moral issue, right. Which means
but don't you think that that the whole pandemic, the whole problem that you have with prescription drugs, right, being oversubscribed to people could have been avoided if there was not an economical incentive to subscribe just those medicines?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
could that have been prevented?
I mean, they have.
System?
There have been cities that have just been devastated by prescription drug addiction, and it ends up being like one pharmacy and 3 doctors who are prescribing this, to the point where they have lines of cars to get their prescriptions filled.
Yeah, because there is an economical incentive for these doctors to prescribe just these medicines and make sure that people buy these medicines, because the more of this prescription.
And who do you think they go after when it comes to prescription?
The poor, the hungry, and the sick, right?
Exactly.
So we all agree on this.
That does not describe homeless. That does not describe homeless people at all.
Let me chime in, okay?
Uh-huh.
I have been talking about these issues for years on end. We have a forced gentrification problem. You see that in the city of Chicago. Anytime that they are going to spend so many billions of dollars on brand new police academies, but they let 250 schools close. You have a situation where they will tear down affordable housing complexes, not renovating, not adding new, tearing them down, and then adding $500,000 plus condos and apartments. And these people are displaced and they have nowhere to go. And then you say, well, the waiting list for this government housing program is years long. For example, if I were to apply, if I needed it, if I were to apply for government assistance in housing today, it would take me 3 to 4 years for my name to even come up on an eligibility list.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have a prison for profit industry that's helping make these pharmaceutical drugs, where they're not paying these prisoners to make them, so they're making them by the boatloads and then selling them through doctors and pharmacies to people who don't have the money for them in the first place. So you have to make a choice: do I buy dinner tonight, or do I buy my drugs, so to say? And then everyone seems to have an addiction from these prescription drugs that are highly addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I pass it on, when COVID-19 hit and they're looking for cures, one of the worst and most despicable things that I've seen is a president get on stage and say that he's taking a drug that's untested on people and masses to see if it even works, and tout this drug and the company that makes this drug. And you see that there are various shares from affiliate companies in the drug. And you're telling people you're taking it on stage right now? How deceptive can the person be? Like, it's right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
It's not deceptive. It's despicable. Despicable.
Yeah, but can we just, like, we all know that from all statistics that we have from around the world, right? A healthy population is a happy population, and the healthier your population you are, the more prosperous your country is, right? That's where the part of the world where I live kind of comes into the mix. It's like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Iceland are all in the top, I think, 8
and
of
Finland,
the happiest.
Finland.
Yeah, Finns are not happy. It's too close to Russia, mate. Nobody's happy when they're.
Is Denmark still the happiest place in the world?
I think Iceland actually took over that like last year, because
Denmark was for a long time.
For a long time, yeah. I'm not really sure about this, but the point I'm trying to make is a happy population is a healthy population. A healthy population is a happy population. But what we're talking about, to be honest, is that fact that what this man did in Orange County with the homeless people is horrible. It's despicable. It's evil. We all agree on that. But the larger issue is, why can't every country in the fucking world have, with all the wealth that actually exists, why can't we just have affordable fucking housing for everyone? It shouldn't be a fucking problem for anybody to make that happen.
You know what we did post Second World War? There was a massive housing program in Britain where they built all of the social
sold
housing.
Scotland to Norway? No.
But we built all of this stuff post-war, and we built the NHS post-war. So it was like everyone's been pulling together for one reason and one reason only. Now they're coming back. Let's make sure that they've got somewhere to live, somewhere to work, and let's get everyone on an even keel. And what basically happened is that was all set up and all well and good. And then come the 70s, it was a case of, hang on a minute, all these little paupers are doing all right for themselves. We need to, and they get a bit uppity, going on strike and all this sort of thing. So they brought in this thing called the right to buy, which meant that you could buy your council house, which meant you got into epic debt to stop you going out on strike and to keep you part of the system. And what that done is it created this, and it's the exact same happened in America. If you look at the economist Mark Blythe, he talks all about this, how the trajectories of wage increase and inflation were together until the 70s, and that's when obviously like Motor City died a death, the late 70s, same as over here. It was like we had the miners' strikes and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Basically a way of breaking up society into certain sense of unions are getting too much power. We need to stop this now. So we need to get people in America. They went a bit mental and got everyone hooked on crack, which was lovely. Well documented if you look at Noam Chomsky's work.
It's pretty nice.
And then in the UK,
do it.
Yeah. And in the UK, you have Maggie Thatcher, who did it in a more clandestine way, in the sense of she gave everyone the right to buy their council house, which meant instead of falling into arrears if you was in a council, which you could pay off over time, you have a mortgage payment. If you missed your mortgage payment, you was out.
Yeah.
But you were tricked into thinking, oh, you're part of the owning classes now. So everything is all about just geared to keeping us down and taking as much money out of the society as we can. And we do it in such clever ways. We do it in ways like, if you look now, everything when you buy something, it's all about getting it on credit. Everything's on credit. Why? If you're in debt, you've got to service that debt. If you service that debt, you're a good worker. If you're not a good worker, you end up homeless and destitute and have people putting pepper sprays and stuff in your face.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
Sorry to go off on a little...
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, the idea is, keep people stupid, sick, and hungry. Exactly what it is.
Bread and circuses.
Yeah, and so we are taking, or we have, our current administration is doing this in droves to the point where, like, beforehand it was very slight that we would get our rights taken away, but this, which we'll get into, like the actual human rights that are being actually saved right now, but they're taking away any opportunity for people to live. I mean, you take away your rights to food, to housing, to healthy air and water, to children's ability to go to school, to have access to a good school. What we have to do is we have to stop making the funding for schools strictly based on property values. I believe we had this conversation last week about property values and how they determine your schools, and stop and actually working not equality but equity. The ones that are struggling need the most money. We had the opposite effect here in California years ago. We had it part of the No Child Left Behind. It was a big problem where instead of the schools that needed the most help getting actual help and funding, they were actually taking funding away from them and forcing them to make changes instead of actually helping them. It caused a huge rift in our schools, instead of actually doing the right thing. And that's just schools.
If we're going into your school system, that is going to take a whole fucking week of
actually we're also we're talking about homeless as well, and there are homeless children in school. And you start taking away, especially during these shutdowns, these lockdowns, you took away food access for children. You took away safety from children.
I don't know how.
But
hold on, Jartan.
I'm sorry, Cortez. I'm just going to say this: the
yelling.
That is a part of a bigger problem, right? It's a part of a bigger problem. The fact that you don't have a system of security for poor families. That means that if kids don't go to school, they don't get fed. that means that you've failed as a society. You've failed as a society. That
Yes.
it shouldn't be that way.
And we still have children in cages.
This is
Yeah, please, Cortez. Please, Cortez, go on.
say about this. We are skipping over a very glaring point here, and that's if you don't have a residential address, you're not going to school. So the whole argument about homeless children not getting food inside of their schools, the school systems are like, well, we don't have homeless children in our districts. And as you can see, what happens when you register your kid in a school and you don't have an address, you're going to jail for that. And that's all over this country.
Well, people lie and they put grandma's house.
Right. And when they find them out, they jail them.
Yeah.
Or they kick them out of the school.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm talking from a place of, no, this happened to me. I was kicked out of the school system because we lost our house after my parents got divorced.
Ugh.
I was kicked out of the school system.
Should never happened.
I was a top 1% honor roll student at the school, and they still kicked me out. My mother had to struggle to get us a residence so that I could come back to the school system. I was homeschooled for 6 months until she could put me back in the school system.
Yeah.
And this is
my 5 brothers and sisters. No. Do you know if I told that story to any person in, I don't know, in the UK, I can't speak for, but I can, at least I can speak for Norwegian and Swedish people. Do you know that if I told them that story, they would say, you're lying? Doesn't happen that way.
I mean, it sucked. And I'm gonna tell you, it sucked because my mother cried that she thought that she was failing her 5 children, and the fact that we had to be homeschooled by her in a van and driving around and staying at relatives' houses until she could find another place for us because she didn't want us in CPS.
That is Chicago Public Schools for people who don't live here.
Yeah, Chicago Public School. I thought I've said that in the past. But
It's a new episode.
Okay, new episode. I have to explain it all over again. Well, she didn't want us in Chicago Public School systems because of how the schools were being run at the time when we were that age, and it sucked a lot. And I'm going to tell you that from personal experience, it should never have happened. Schools, especially public schools, are funded by the public.
Right.
Which means that no matter what she had done or how we lost her house or whatever, we still funded that school. She still paid all of her taxes. When she still made sure that every day we still got up with clothes and went to school. Our work was done. We didn't have a bunch of missing assignments. Like I said, top 1 percentile at the time when this happened. And I remember sitting in the meeting after some Karen called about.
That's racist.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was sitting on the steps of the school waiting for my mom to pick me up when she got off of work. And someone called and said, I've been watching this. She does this every single day where he sits on those steps doing his homework until she picks him up at about 6 o'clock. School gets out at 3:40. Computer lab ends at 4:30. Why is he sitting on those steps for 2 hours? It's dangerous. They kicked all 5 of us out of the school district. And I'm telling you right now, the system that they have set up is for people who don't have the same opportunities as others to never have them.
It's just the whole thing's rigged. The whole thing is rigged with a profit motive at the end.
Right. It didn't matter how smart her kids were. She had 3 kids in the honors program.
Yeah.
2 that still scored above average. That's 5 kids, all in sports, all in after-school activities, student government, student council, computer lab, debate club, chess club, volleyball, basketball, baseball, and track and field. And they still kicked us out.
Well,
sorry, Mikey, but I'm sitting here and I'm trying to come up with a coherent argument to try to be devil's argument. But all arguments that I come up with are not coherent. They're not. They don't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody just please help me out here? Why? No. Just can somebody help me out and give me the talking points? Why this is a good system to have?
I can. My uncle is a teacher, and I'm gonna try to convince him to go public with some of the things that he had to deal with being a teacher in inner city schools, and eventually moving out into county schools. I'll try to get him on there. There isn't a cogent reason. The reason is racism. That is literally it. So this whole,
oh, well, all lives matter and everybody should just...
No. There are structural things in place to make sure that some people cannot get to certain places. Yeah. But we're going to change this up. Because we got a little heavy and we got a little dark.
Yeah.
So we got to win.
Can I just say just a few things before we get that? There's a few things that really just need to be pointed out right now. If you have not already, in the United States, we have our 2020 census. You need to fill that out.
Census!
That is very important, especially when it comes to children.
And then explain for our international listeners what the census is.
So census is every 10 years. It is literally supposed to be a count of who is residing, where you are, how many people are in one place. It is meant so that we can actually provide resources properly
allocate funds.
Properly allocate funds, as well as representation. And these are the things that are important, especially when it comes to neighborhoods of color who are absolutely underrepresented, and people with children are absolutely underrepresented. Children are underrepresented. So when we talk about schools, when we talk about programs, these are the things that we need to do. So the census is very important. And another thing that's really important when it comes to schools as well is actually voting for people in the school board.
Yeah, local elections, especially school board,
sheriff. Local elections, your school board is highly important, and your city government is highly important. I'm not joking. I am sick of not having people not talk about this. Local government, fucking vote.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't vote for president, I don't care, but you will vote for your local elections, because those are the people who are going to affect your daily lives and the way that your city, your county, your state is run.
Yeah.
And so participating in the 2020 census and voting for your local offices, including your schools, because these things that we are talking about when it comes to the way that we're dealing with low-income students and the funding that goes into it, that all has to do with the school board. Look it up.
Look it up, bitches.
Look it up. All right, I'm done.
Google is your friend.
Google is your motherfucking homie.
Oh, all right.
So we're gonna move a little bit off of that.
Big punching gear change.
Kung. Wayne, did you know that
Northern Russia?
Short. You just called it short.
Liquid Russia. The Supreme Court ruled against your best friend in the whole wide world, Wayne. Guess who that was?
Old orange boy.
Donald Trump.
I thought that was me. I'm sad now.
Okay. From Washington.
Hang on, Jartan. What are you talking about? I thought your best mate was Scott from Fire.
He loves the shit out of that guy. That's obvious by our Instagram posts. And TikTok.
It's a love.
It is a
It's
love
a
thing.
love. It's a love.
We got a bromance, Goat. We got.
It's a relationship. It is getting serious.
It's kind of one way though.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it always
Like a
starts.
stalker.
That's how it always starts. Then you'll start looking through bushes and blinds. In Washington, the Supreme.
You can tell Scott from 5. Wait. You can tell Scott from 5. I have more fucking likes on TikTok than he does.
Oh, come on, people.
From Washington,
Yeah, I did. All right.
The Supreme Court on Thursday delivered a blow to President Trump's immigration agenda, ruling the administration's attempt to dismantle an Obama-era program that protects young undocumented immigrants from deportation was unlawful.
That's the first blow he's getting since that porn star, right?
Dusty Williams or whatever her fucking name was.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, yeah. First blowjobs is Stormy
Get her name correctly. I know you guys have a problem with women, but come on, get her name correctly.
Dusty Williams is hilarious.
That's mine.
That's your porn name? Dusty Williams.
Wait.
Brenna,
Is it a porno?
Not all of us have a
second. I'm googling this.
Just these two.
Just these two. Okay.
With its 5-4.
My apologies, Wayne. You are a true gentleman.
With its 5-4 ruling, the high.
I know.
Jesus fucking Christ. With its 5-4 ruling.
He drinks wine. How am I not supposed to be in love with him?
Be in love.
Mikey.
Just let me finish the article. I only got like 10 sentences.
Mikey, continue. You just mute everyone. Just do your thing.
From the top, the Supreme Court on Thursday delivered a blow to President Trump's immigration agenda, ruling the administration's attempt to dismantle an Obama-era program that protects young undocumented immigrants from deportation was unlawful. With its 5-4 ruling, the High Court provided a lifeline to nearly 700,000 immigrants whose future... God, that's a lot of people. 700,000 immigrants whose future in the United States hung in the balance while a years-long legal battle over the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, the DACA program, the Dreamers. DACA program moved through the courts. Chief Justice Roberts, you old dirty salty dog, who joined the 4 liberal justices on the bench, delivered the opinion for the court, writing that Trump administration's decision to unwind the program was arbitrary and capricious under the Administrative Procedure Act. So he wasn't going. Chief Justice Roberts said, I know what you're trying to do. We're not. It was dismissed pretty much on the facts that they're just like, this is petty. You're on some bullshit. So we're not even gonna entertain this right now. The answer is no. You can't do it. If you're gonna bring it all the way up to us, the answer is no. Thoughts, opinions.
Where's Yartan going?
Don't you worry about him.
He'll be back. He'll be back. He loves this.
I think this is a rebuttal of Trump's agenda to basically undo everything that Obama did. He couldn't do this one through executive order, so he's tried to go through. On your way, son. No. And the thing is, it's so bloody transparent. Trump kind of represents everything that is sort of anti-Obama. You know, the whole birther thing. And, that was the start of it, and he was a massive advocate for that. And then as soon as he got in, all he was doing was just purposely targeting things that Obama had done and got rid of them. Purely because he was trying to sort of, in my opinion, correct the wrongs of the brown man. The brown man got in and done this and done that. We need to get rid of it.
On top of that, he came in knowing that he would not get the types of support that he needed, especially in Congress, in order to get the things that he needed done. So he had one choice, and it was that pen. And so he took his chance at doing these executive orders. And when it came to violation of human rights that he did on multiple occasions, I mean, there's still violations of human rights going on. He got pushed down, and that is.
If I'm not mistaken, there was.
Thank you for interrupting me.
Yeah, there was.
I appreciate.
We're gonna get better about that, even if I have to start muting you, fucking assholes. Go ahead, Brenna.
Yeah, thank you. And so he's been. This is a big deal because that pen will continue to have less and less strength. It will diminish him to the point where every single solitary one of those executive orders is going to go through the courts. And we're going to see it. And this is a major thing that just happened because these are human beings. They were once children who were forced over here, and then they get protections. They had no choice.
And I think that speaks to a lot of my friends growing up, is whether it was them specifically or their parents, Abuelita brought them over here. They grew up in America.
They're Americans.
They're Americans. They were born here.
Yeah.
They're here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is their shit. Like, they don't have, like, what do you want? Where do you want them to go back to?
Yeah. They don't know.
Home.
And most of the times their parents were fleeing these places because of the crime and the violence and the things that would have happened to them, such as being part of cartels and shit like that, especially in central and southern Southern America, where they brought here because it's safe.
Correct.
And if they're told to go back to these countries or they're supposed to go somewhere else, they're not safe. That's a violation of human rights. That's a violation of my human rights. Because again, who's next on this?
Jartan and then Cortez.
Just let maybe devil's advocate here for a second, all right? And I'm talking to Brendan, so you don't all have to argument against me because this is not my point of view. I'm just trying to make the argument against, all right? So when a drug kingpin, is that called kingpin?
Drug kingpin. Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm like,
a drug kingpin.
Pin? Is that a
drug pin?
Now we got drug
thing.
pins in here too.
I've had a lot of sparkling. I've had a lot of sparkling water tonight.
You might want to cut back. It's just overhydrating you a little bit.
The bubbles get to his head.
So this guy who's been working for this drug kingpin or whatever the fuck, right? He stops working for him. His life is in danger. He takes his kids and his family, and they move to America, and then they have another kid. Is that person all of a sudden exempt from responsibility in his home country?
That child is an American citizen.
We're talking about children.
Yeah. Just bear with me for a second, all right?
We're just asking
we
questions.
have done for years.
Yeah, we're talking about the children. I don't think the adults have anything to do with this.
All right. So we are going to send back the parents who were involved with the drug trade. Who's going to take care of the children in your country?
We actually have protections for children. Why is my
is that really working?
Is it working? Well, nothing's working because we don't have a system that works very well. What we have is children being protected, which means what a lot of people don't understand is these kids, when they reach adulthood, who are still under these protections, are contributing to our society. And they get nothing back because they're not considered citizens.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, right? That they are considered citizens. But, all right, so these children when they're under the age, fucking hell, this sparkling water. When they're
You might want to cut back.
A lot of water is like I've been hydrating badly. So they're under the age of 18.
Right.
Yeah.
Their parents have to go back because they have to stand trial for crimes committed, but they are born in the United States.
So the United States, once you cross into across the borders, you are under the protection of the United States. So that's when you have to get somebody like ICE involved in determining whether or not you are to be deported.
Brenna, define ICE.
Okay.
That sounds really cool.
It's not as cool as you get. Immigrations and customs enforcement. So what they are supposed to do is if you have a violation and you happen to be undocumented, they determine whether or not you are continually under the protection of the United States, or you must be deported. Yeah, as well as customs. Okay. So they also have to deal with contraband that comes in. There's a lot of problems.
Diseased animals, produce that has been untested, drugs. All of these things are under the customs, just like any other country. Customs.
Yes, it's customs. They just put it all together into immigration as well. So. Yeah. Once you cross so let me repeat. Once you cross into our borders, you remain under the protection of the United States unless you are deemed to be deported.
Yes, of course, you are deemed to be deported, and you made heinous crimes in your home country. But you've been in your country for 20 odd years before somebody figured you out. So you came into your country illegally under false pretenses, and you've had a kid during that time.
Yeah.
Right.
That kid has never seen wherever South America.
If they're born in the United States, even if you're not documented, they're citizens.
So they
cannot leave. They cannot leave.
That's not under the DACA. That's only kids who come here with who are already born.
You are talking about two different people.
He's asking you. He's just asking to clarify.
Okay, so
I'm asking you to clarify. Are you born in the United States, or are you born before you came to the United States?
If you are born prior to crossing the border, that's when you need DACA. If you are born in the United States, you are a citizen. You are already protected. DACA just allows those children who are under the age of 18 to be protected
and just
from
a little,
any of the violations of
just a small clarification. Like, so DACA is essentially meant for minors who, like Brenda was saying, like, you're born in the United States, you're already a citizen. Well, if you're 8 and you're brought to the United States, there's not really much of a fucking difference. You're 8. You just go where mommy and daddy tell you to go, and you do what they say.
But you have no choice.
So, right.
So if you're over 18 when this happens, like you're over 18 when your parents get arrested and deported back to South America, how will that affect you?
18 is different. You're an adult.
You're an adult.
If you haven't grown up in the American like school system, if you haven't had like a couple of jobs where you pay taxes to that, like that's what DACA is set up to protect, is people who are brought over here. They had no choice in the matter. They've lived their best lives as American citizens, and now here comes fucking the orange orangutan talking about some.
Oh, well, you don't have papers, so let's just go ahead and deport you right out.
Well, it's not their fault they don't have papers.
Yeah.
They were children when they got here.
Mikey, I gotta say, you sound like the professor from The Simpsons. when you do that voice.
No, okay.
What do you mean there,
No.
Wayne? Wayne, what are you talking about? What can
Well,
you mean?
life.
No. Well, let me keep being devil's advocate. All right. So I come over when I'm 6. When I'm 12, my parents get arrested because they've done some horrible shit.
They get deported. Are you saying that they get deported?
Because
if they're arrested, they're still under the protection of the United States. It is not.
Yeah,
they are deported.
Yeah, they are deported. That's right. So I'm 12 at this point.
Yeah.
What is the best thing to do for a 12-year-old when his parents are deported?
So what they do is I think it's not.
I'm not
ICE,
asking what they do. I'm asking what's the best thing to do.
What's the best thing to do? Place those children with people who will take care of them, such as family members who are already here, or under foster care. What they already do.
Which is a very good system in America, is it? Foster care?
Oh no.
Isn't it better to?
Well, do you think that you want to send kids back to a dangerous place? Is that what you want to put kids into danger?
I'm just asking. Isn't it better that they're with friends and family?
Right now, it's better
the
that
place
they're
where the parents are. Where their parents are?
No. If you're already deporting them and you're already saying that they're going to get arrested, which in other countries is not fun. It's not,
like in America?
It's not judicial. We're supposed to have it. We actually had very good immigration courts that would actually work on this stuff.
Okay,
so
Cortez, hold on. Cortez has been waiting. Cortez, please.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're muted, so go ahead and unmute yourself and then reestablish the
I
point
have
you were
been
trying to
waiting very judiciously.
Yes.
There was a case in 2001 that you guys are referring to without knowing that you're referring to it, and that was the extradition of one Elian Gonzalez in Florida. The situation that they sent an armed military team to go in and get that little boy.
Yeah,
it ruined a lot of public relations with ICE as well as the Immigration Act. So around the time that President Obama was in office, he enacted a law, I should say, or an executive order that allowed for Cuban immigrants or immigres, EMIGRES, to step foot. It's called the one wet foot, one dry foot rule. They step foot on Florida, wherever they're coming in at, and they can begin the process of getting American citizenship due to the fact that they're refugees from a non-democratic country. Mm-hmm. And even though the country of Mexico says that it's democratic, I think that their policies that we've all seen have not been the most forthcoming as far as democracy goes. And a lot of things about Mexico.
I could say the same thing about you, mate.
I'm not defending. I am not defending our country as far as the way that people behave. The laws themselves, at least in pretext, are supposed to guarantee the sovereignty of the country as well as the protection of the people therein. Now, people who act, and warp things to their own, that's on them, and that's what we're trying to change. But the way the system is supposed to be is what we're talking about here.
Right.
One quick interjection, and then Cortez, I'm going right back to you. U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement is responsible for identifying and eliminating border, economic, transportation, and infrastructure security vulnerabilities. That's ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Thank you, Ben Coleman.
There we go.
Ben!
So with that being said, I don't know why the current administration is not soft on refugees to immigrants, because the country in itself was founded by refugees, and they were leaving a tyrannical government from what we've been taught. And for it to be a problem now, it really only points to and I'm not trying to beat the horse here, but it really only points to
beat the horse.
Okay.
I knew that was gonna happen. But it points to a system like Brenna has said. It points to a system of these are brown people, and we don't care as much about these brown people. And Brenna has mentioned this, and I'm siding with Brenna here. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're a very, 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 very mild shade of brown, Brenna. It doesn't matter that you are. But the point that you're making is very true. You see, what I said this before, and I'll say it again because it's a new show. Mikey, there you go. There are two sets of rules. There are two sets of rules here. Two sets.
I'm not allowed to say good luck.
God.
No, there's two sets of rules here, and
I'm gonna bleep those out.
And there needs to. You ever seen the meme, the Simpson meme, where it's got like 6 different shades, and below this shade, criminal.
That's Family Guy. That's Family Guy.
Okay,
but
yeah.
yes.
Same animation team.
Oh, y'all know your memes, but you can't fucking show up on time. Excellent.
Family Guy is Seth MacFarlane, Matt Groening is Simpson. It's not the fucking same animation team.
It's a joke, you sensitive pricks.
I don't
Wait, let Cortez finish his point.
Yes,
and Mikey, I was here before 8, so fuck you.
Thank you. Wayne. Wayne. What I'm saying here is this.
Look at
Jartan.
them down there. The colors.
So to answer your question, as best as I possibly can, is it better to detain the child who was here under the age of 18 and living in an American system for however many years, while the parent goes back to face charges, or send a child back to fend for themselves in a country that isn't as stable with child rights? The answer is keep them here. If the system worked the way that it should work, they would be placed with either their family members or a family that has the means to push them into success, because that's what the foster system was supposed to be. You had to have a certain amount of money to have a foster child. You have to have a certain amount of money to adopt, a certain amount of disposable income and or living conditions. But we all know that when money is involved, especially when it's government giving it to you, that people abuse the system. These are things we have to fix.
Speaking of government money, we're going to go into round 5 of our... I
just want to say one thing. Can I just say one thing first?
Yeah.
No.
You can't even segue without you jumping in.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Hands off the juice.
I'm just having sparkling water.
Hold the rope to tag in.
Yeah.
There you go.
With some yellow,
Tag in if you're not
with some
holding the
yellow
rope.
tape. What I'm trying to say is, I am not really standing by these viewpoints that I just made.
I know.
We understand that.
Yeah, you do, but I really want to make it clear to our fucking viewers that I'm not a fucking asshole.
Listen.
I'm just
He is a fucking asshole. He just
listen.
better.
You already put the disclaimer out. I'm trying to be devil's advocate. So unless
we
people
know.
weren't fucking listening, we
I
know.
forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Slack. He forgot.
Sparkling water for everyone.
He can't even say it anymore.
This is worse than babysitting.
Hi, Skeptits. And thank you, Ben. Ben says, nice wrestling reference, Cortez. I agree.
Hey, Ben, I always go in raw.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
No.
Speaking of government,
There we go.
Government funding, I put it into our group chat. I had like 3 positive-ish things and then like 3 negative-ish things for us to talk about. Unfortunately, that ended up turning into 2. We already went through the 2 positive things, so we got all negative from here on out. Buckle up, motherfuckers. Atlanta Cops. What's up, Atlanta Cops? This little portion of our show brought to you by our good friends at Sparkling Water.
Hey!
Quotes. Please put quotes around that.
Sparkling Water.
I don't like lying to our fans.
So cops in Atlanta decided. So the cops in Atlanta decided to not show up to work yesterday. In solidarity with their brother in arms who shot an unarmed man fleeing a scene.
Good.
I can't wait to chime in on this one.
Good.
They decided I don't have to do my job anymore that I actually swore an oath to because I'm pissy that someone was prosecuted for shooting someone without weapons. Wayne Lynch Maker, you're first on the chopping block. What's up, my man?
What a load of shit. What a load of shit. Like, the geezer's banged to rights, right? He shot a guy in the back. Who was the guy who pulled the taser out, who nicked the taser?
Yeah, they were wrestling, and he wrestled it away from him. And
yeah, so he pulls out.
Hold on. Small caveat for people who haven't seen the video. I'm not going to post the video.
No.
I think it's one thing that we're going to make a hard and fast rule here. We're not going to post people dying online. Most of us are empaths. It does something to us, and it takes a little bit away from our humanity when we watch people die with our own eyes. So we're going to limit that as much as possible, and we don't want to share that to other people. But two charges of that taser had been expended previously. It doesn't have any more charges after that. So that guy was essentially running away with an empty taser.
Right. So
it had no bullets in the taser left.
So then when I start to talk, you talk over me. Well done. Thanks, mate.
Clarifying.
All right. So as far as I'm aware, the guy was charged because he used lethal force when he was not under threat. His life was not under threat. And now these cops say, oh, no, we ain't turning up today because our mate did something wrong, was proven to have done something wrong, was sacked, and what was the other guy put on like gardening leave or something?
I don't know if the other responding officer got charges. I think
he got suspended.
Possibly. I don't know.
He was charged and suspended.
I don't know. Did both of them shoot Cortez?
No, only one.
Just the one
got shot. But he got charged as well.
Okay. Go ahead, Wayne.
Sorry. Yeah. So you've got this, and this is what hurts my head and hurts other people's heads, not only in your country but around the world, because you've got a guy that's banged to rights. He's killed someone, and everyone's gone, well, this is a bit rubbish. And he's been proven to have been a bit rubbish, got sacked, which is fired in American talk. And all these like colleagues have gone, oh, we ain't having this. We're not going to turn up to work. What? So someone's a wrong-un, and you're standing in solidarity with the wrong-un.
Yep.
That's no. Okay.
It's like flying the Southern flag.
Yeah. They're all that NASCAR truck driver.
Brenna, your thoughts on the Atlanta cops deciding that they don't have to show up to work in solidarity with their brother?
Well, this to me really sounds like they no longer trust that the judicial system will be in their favor because of what's happening. So they know that this murderer is going to end up in jail of some sort.
Alleged murderer.
Allegedly.
Alleged. Innocent till proven guilty, sure. So they're it feels like they know that they're not going to be able to get away with this, and the best thing for them to do is just show that they are to get this thin blue line, right? This cops can do no bad, and now they can no longer get away with it, and they're afraid. Because what happens if they get their jackets flipped through? What kind of violations have they done?
Right.
And this is going to be a thing. And this just shows how much afraid these people are about what's going to happen to them.
Dartan from the north. I don't know what you think.
The Viking.
Snide Viking.
Is this me? All right. So here.
Let's move on. Just kidding.
Next topic.
Next topic. No. Let them walk. Let them walk.
I'm a Viking.
Stop it. That's a racist. Knock it off, Wayne. Sorry, Shartan, that you had to deal with that. I apologize.
HR. Call HR.
Yeah, HR. Dr. Emma.
HR. She's
Dr.
probably
Emma.
passed out. Oh,
She's passed out on my couch by
in
now.
the chicken coop.
No.
she's protecting the chicken coop.
She's outside making sure I can't get in.
She's just like this.
Back against the door, shotgun in hand. Just
Oh, gotta get it.
No, she's in there counting. One. What's happened to Fluffy?
Gertrude. Oh goddamn, Gertrude's gone. Sorry, Shartan, we interrupted you.
Sorry.
That's very rude of us. I apologize.
Yeah,
it's just as rude as not showing up on time. I'm just saying. Wait a second.
You had 7 minutes.
Victory sip.
It's none of my business.
Can you give us a smile? There you go.
So, Shartan, your thoughts on the Atlanta cops and their refusal to show up to work in solidarity with their brother?
Good riddance.
Short, sweet,
Good
to the
riddance.
point.
There we go. All right, and move on.
Hey,
Short and to the point. That's literally Jartan's raison d'etre.
All right, y'all.
That's why he wears. That's why he wears the kilt.
Y'all gonna leave my buddy alone.
And you know the word I'm not allowed to say?
Shit.
Send them there. Send them there.
G-word.
Send them there. Send them there.
And you'll be
That's all you got,
waiting
Jartan?
there. You'll be waiting there with your kilt in your spare belly button.
Oh God. Cortez, please, your take on the Atlanta cops. No.
Turn away.
Oh God.
All right.
I can't cut his video quick enough. He just pops up so fast. Cortez,
Oh God! Stop it!
can you guys stop inciting the optical violence from him right now? Relax. Cortez, your take on the Atlanta cops and their refusal to show up to work for their solidarity with their brother.
You have the Atlanta cops refusing to show up to work, and you have districts that were dropping out in solidarity with the other districts that started it, to where you have 5 to 6 districts that weren't covered, or zones, I should say. On top of that, you have police chief in New York, in Buffalo, apologizing for kneeling with the protesters for Black Lives Matter, saying he let down his colleagues. Let me say this right now in the best way that I possibly can. I understand that there are people that are really good police officers and that do really good police work. I also, I get it. But when you think that it's okay to stand with someone who was clearly and visibly in a bad place and did something that was unethical, and you are showing an affront to the very justice system that you took an oath to defend. On top of that, you are not Judge Dredd. You are not the law. You are a representative of the law. You keep peace and you serve the community. You are no longer serving the community. You're serving yourselves. And that is why when people say there aren't any good cops, they don't mean, Joe Do-Gooder down the street that plays basketball with the underprivileged kids on camera. They're not talking about him. They're talking about all those people that watch these same guys 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in and turn a blind eye because of the brotherhood. And they're turning a blind eye right now because If you go ahead, check it out if you want me to. You can quote good old Tez on this one. That guy also had a history of violations against people of color. We keep seeing the same thing happen over and over again. And because it's a job, you have internal affairs, and internal affairs and HR take care of things inside. And let me explain this one more time. If you are a police officer and your job is to arrest people, you probably aren't going to arrest Greg, who comes to your daughter's graduations and has barbecues with you on Saturday nights and watches the hockey games and everything else that you guys do, because you guys are not policing yourselves. When the police can't police the police because they're a whole fraternity, that's when we have this problem. That's when people get upset with the establishment. You don't want people to get mad? Police yourselves. Be better. Do better.
If you knew better, you would do better.
Because I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. Every time I get pulled over, do I question if I'm going home after this traffic stop? Yes.
Every time.
Every single time.
Like, here goes some bullshit. Oh, God.
Do I keep my hands out of my pockets anytime I'm near a police officer? Yes. And whether you like it or not, or you guys are just afraid, why do you think that we are?
Like, I'm not scared of no motherfucker on the street, but I know that I can't even retaliate in equal force to a cop, or else I'm going to die anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if I get into a scrap with some dude on the street because he thinks I'm an asshole and I think he's an asshole, that's just a fight, and then we can both go to jail and both do the thing. If a cop starts some bullshit with me and I try to fight him, I die. And then he's completely cleared. He'll get $400,000 on GoFundMe, and he'll get 6 weeks of administrative leave while they put me to trial, and they go through my Twitter and my Facebook and my YouTube to pull up all the bad information about me.
And your traffic tickets.
Oh, and then, this guy's a criminal parker. He once parked on the street after 2 a.m. on a Thursday because he was at band practice. That's on his criminal record. We got those facts right here at Fox. Well, let me tell you, I'm about sick of these criminals.
So here's the deal, right? I think it's about 2 weeks ago now. No. Me and Wayne had this phone call about 2 weeks ago where we both.
Who was worse?
Goddamn sparkling water.
One of us.
I love Merlot.
Sparkling water was good that night. But we had a really good conversation, and it got a bit emotional for both of us because we both realized something, right? Wayne realized that being mixed race in the UK is not being mixed race in the US. It's not the same thing. I realized the fact that if a pickup truck pulls up next besides me, and they slam the brakes, I'm going to turn around and ask them, do you need directions, or do you want me, are you going to give me a lift?
That was exactly my point, because the thing. Sorry to cut you off there, Jato.
No, go ahead.
The thing that sort of like really made me stop and take stock was when you and Cortez, Mikey, when you said, "Oh, what time is it?" You said bolt time, it's go time. It's like you've got an entire vocabulary that is not. It's fucking alien to me. Because I'll be like, "Oh, hello, mate. You all right? Where'd you need to go?" And you two are like, pickup truck pulls up next to us. We're fucking off. We are doing one. And I was like, that's mental. And Jartan and I both agreed that we couldn't fathom living in that existence. It seems.
What the fuck is going on? No,
out of there.
It got
No,
but it got really emotional for us because we both kind of teared up, realizing
we have a privilege. We have a privilege.
Yeah.
Like it's me and Mikey went to a Bulls game together a little bit ago.
Yeah, but just give us a second to finish the story.
I gotta tell him about this one.
Yeah, you can tell him. But
Tell him, but let them finish, and then tell him right after.
Tell the story, because imagine that the pickup truck is not a pickup truck; it's a police car. And for me, that having the police pulling up beside me makes me scared, not safe.
Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. I have the same amount of fear in my heart, but I can't run, or they might just shoot out the fucking window.
And that's what kind of got to me and Wayne, right?
That's not safe to run from the cop car, because they may not even pull over and chase you. They'll just do a fucking drive-by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what got to us.
Right?
You're right.
That's what got to us. That's what got to us. Is that the people are meant to protect us. Because if a cop car pulls up to me, I go like, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you on about?
And if they started giving me an attitude, I go like, nah, not driving a vehicle. You can't ask me for ID. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
I get ID being in the passenger seat.
Yeah. So
Cortez, can you do your bit, please?
But what I just want to say is that me and Wayne, we actually talked about this for about an hour and a half, just talking about how it's so different from us over here, how it's, even though I'm white and he's mixed race, how we can't relate, how it's just, yeah.
Oh, we can't even fathom it.
We can't even like have that feeling, mate.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that's why that was an emotional call for both of us, I think.
Mikey and I went to a Bulls game a little bit ago, and before all the cover stuff, and we had one of the kids with us, and we go outside the stadium, and outside the stadium are a row of police officers in riot gear with assault weapons. Like, I'm talking about big boys, like this, fingers on the trigger. Me and Mike look to the kid and we say, hey, let's keep up with us. We put our arm around her, we put our heads down, and we got that. We couldn't even linger after the game in the courtyard area because we didn't know what was happening. And we're not going to say it was quote unquote being afraid, but it was a specific type of fear that was in us, that why are they in riot gear and why do they have assault weapons and why are their fingers on the trigger? And we both literally got the hell out of Dodge as fast as we could without running, because if we ran, it would have looked like we were doing something, especially when we got a kid with us. They might think we snatching the kid, and we just want to make sure we get out of here without being questioned. And it was so like both of us looked at each other without really even, hey, you see that? Yeah, I see. Let's go. Mikey?
I had to potty real bad. But I can imagine you told them about us seeing the dude with the MP5 fucking stand outside. Yeah. like that's not okay. And that we're here with children. You're here with weapons.
No, but here's the deal, all right? Because you've told your... Sorry, keep on going. Sorry, I broke you off. We both immediately felt something was off. That this was... Who do they play even? Like, it was like the Bulls and it was the Nuggets.
Yeah, they played the Nuggets that night.
So it wasn't even like it was like a big game. Like, this was like a cheap game that we were able to afford to get tickets to. So we just like got in.
Last time Derrick Rose was in Chicago.
Yeah, stop driving pizzas, mate. You can get better tickets.
Well, I mean, patreon.com/The Bin Podcast.
We wanted to see Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Let's get Mikey some better tickets for the next Bulls game.
I'm doing much better financially now, so if the league ever opens back up, we can get some better tickets and maybe we'll live stream it and you can hear.
If that's the case, if that's the case, get me and Jonathan tickets for a Bulls game. We'll
We
fly
had
over.
beers and nachos. We had it all. We was doing good.
We had a good. We were enjoying ourselves thoroughly, but the departure made us very uneasy, and that's very weird for it to be a fucking basketball game. Like, what were you
I think
expecting?
it's like a year. I think it's like a year ago we had this discussion. I can't remember who the third person in the discussion me and you, Mike, had. Is that the problem that you have in your country is that you've told your police officers that they're in war, and that's why they dress like they do. They dress like military officers in war. They dress like soldiers because everything is a fucking war. And violence will always escalate violence. The only way to de-escalate violence is by being calm in a violent situation.
Nice, don't cuddle. Come here, love. Come here.
I mean, I've been to
the guy with the
multiple
MP5 let him
games.
snuggle up to his neck.
Yeah,
You know I want to. No,
we've all been to games before. I've never seen that before.
No. Like
I've
UK,
never seen that.
Bobbies don't carry guns, do they?
Only a
technical.
select few. And let me before
Muskets.
Mikey,
They carry
carry on.
muskets.
Yeah, we've got blunderbusses stacking them
But
up.
they're still fucking better off than you, aren't they?
Muskets.
No, but I was driving. I had to drive from Chiswick to home, so I decided to go through central London. And I drove past the Houses of Parliament. It was PMQ's day, so there's more police around Parliament Square on that day. Anyway, I'm stuck in traffic on the embankment past the Houses of Parliament and River Thames, and there's these two armed police officers with actual machine guns walking down the street just chatting. And because of all the stuff that's going on, but with frontline workers and these people that are still having to do what they've got to do, I wound my window down and I shout out, cheers lads, just as an acknowledgement of I appreciate what you're doing. Because
smart ass, gonna tell us cheers, lads? Hmm?
No, but they both just put their hands up. Cheers, fella.
Oh, you can't scream at cops in a moving car. That's a
no.
threat.
I was stationary. I was interested.
Wayne, you gonna die.
And the thing was the conversation then came up the very next week on the podcast about police and stuff. I just thought to myself, I'm saying cheers, lads, to these two armed police officers, which is a rarity. And
you're gonna die, Wayne. Don't never do that no more. We need you for next week's show.
And the thing is, they were just like, cheers, fella.
Nah, bro, that is not how the song is sung across the pond. You may not. You
so
as
weird.
a darkened skinned person, melanated peoples, may not yell out of a car at a police officer. They will fill you with holes.
Tan white van driving.
No, you driving the white van, huh? You driving the van, the white van with your melanated skin? No, you
And
finna
the
get shot.
sign written as well. It's my phone number on there. So.
And the thing that was really weird was about that basketball game that me and Cortez went to is, as I'm sure he mentioned, I'm not sure because I really had to pat. There was a bunch of little white kids running up to this cop and giving him high fives, and they're pushing him and touching him and just general, little kid shit.
Holding his gun.
They were touching right next to his fucking firearm. And then in my head, I'm like, there is no way a group of black kids could get that close to him with that fully automatic weapon on him.
But isn't that the differences between the way that the cops are viewed in different in different societies where
cultures.
Cultural, where white people are thought of that the cop with the gun is going to protect them, and so they need to be nice to them because they're heroes and they're there to they're put on that pedestal. We had this like last month or something where these cops are put on these pedestals, and especially by these white people. And then whereas in the black population, it's like if there's a cop with a gun, there's a chance you're not gonna live.
Like that's not even a cop with a revolver. That's a cop with a fucking MP5, which means he's got fucking 28 in the magazine and fucking maybe a couple of
that's meant for killing.
Like, yo, you have a lot of bullets on you right now.
Yeah.
He could have took all of us out if he wanted to.
Like, what are you planning for? And he wasn't the only one that we walked past. There was other ones, but the kids that we saw as we were walking towards the parking lot were all gravitated toward this one guy. And I'm like, how many other motherfuckers are there out here? Like that
he's got riot shield on, body armor. I'm like, what is going on here?
Here's my thesis. Here's my thesis on the whole thing.
Break it down for us, Wayne Lynch maker.
Wayne maker, fuck's sake.
Wayne make a Lynch, make a Lynch, make a Lynch, Wayne.
I made two, so fuck you. Yes.
There's a competition now.
My thesis is basically.
Shartan, let me mute him due to technical difficulties. Do you want to tell him how many you've made? Oh, 3. Thank you. Go ahead, Wayne. We fixed up our technical issues. Thank you.
Okay. My thesis is there's a projection. People and society will tell you who you are based on your skin tone. Now, you can either take that and say, oh, okay, well, that's my role and I'm going to be that. Or you can go, no, fuck that, I ain't going to be that and I'll just be myself. But the more prevalent is the former, in the sense of society is telling you who you are. So this is why you must, again, listen to certain music, eat certain foods, like certain pastimes and all that. And some people will take it and go, okay, well, this is what
rubbish
black people do. This is what black people do. This is what white people do. This is what Asian people do. This is what Indian people do. Whatever, right? But then as soon as you cross those lines and say, no, I'm going to do what the fuck I like, people then say, oh, you're culturally appropriating our culture. So, well, how can I be free if you're telling me that I can't do this because it's your thing?
That is a very British thing to say.
Yeah. So here's the first thing, right? The first thing is where I come from. There's like not even just a glass ceiling; it's a literal cement barricade where you're gonna smack your head on that cement barricade every single time.
Okay.
And on top of it, they got a hammer too, just in case you stick your little head out there. They're gonna smack it right back inside that.
Whack-a-mole.
Okay, so it's not.
Yeah, you should have played rugby style American football.
It ain't about for here in America. It's not about what we like to do. It don't matter what we like to do. We can have legal permits for everything we doing. We could be well spoken. You know, you can look good. You could be light skinned. It don't matter.
Ooh,
it really don't matter.
Ooh, not light skinned.
Because you still one of them chocolate folk, and that's the way that it is. And let me tell you how stupid it is, man. They have come up with dog whistle terms that they use to get over their agenda. For example, when's the last time you heard somebody make a joke about didn't do nothing? That's a code word for them, as if the didn't do nothing is the person that they profiled. When they say, it's just a didn't do nothing, that's them telling each other he really didn't do anything. He's gonna keep saying he didn't.
That's what that person continually protests and says when they get profiled and accosted for no apparent reason. I didn't do nothing. So they say, "Oh, it's a bunch of didn't do nothings."
Right.
That is the trope now.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's been embedded into your culture, that kind of thing. So what happens is you will have people that will take that attitude and through like some sort of osmosis be like, okay, well, if that's what they're expecting of me, that's what I will be. And there are other people that would be like, hey,
those people you bespoke are me and Cortez.
Yeah,
we are exemplary, excellent, awesome black men. Put the fucking stereotype. Shut your whore mouth, Wayne.
I mean,
we're excellent black men. We are combined.
Upstanding citizens.
We is. Shit, that's all I can say. Cortez, that's on our short. That's on it's gonna be a Mikey Cortez short. We is. What you want us to say?
The views and opinions of Mikey Famine are only the views and opinions of Mikey Famine. Do not say reflect the views and opinions of anybody else on the Bin podcast.
He said, I gotta agree. We is.
The views and opinions of Cortez Branch is not the views and opinions of the rest of the Bin podcast, and do not reflect the views and opinions of the rest of the Bin podcast.
Talking over the brown folk, white privilege.
See how they do? See how they do?
Colonizers.
By the way, that's jest.
Hey, wait. How does it feel to also be a colonizer? British bastard. We invented you.
Shut up, the white man is talking. Sit the fuck down, the white man is talking.
I'm turning the fan on. It's hot in this bitch. I'm laughing too hard. Oh, I can't breathe. Y'all got me cracking up. Oh, fuck. I can't breathe.
When you come to the Lynch plantation, I'll whip the shit out of you.
First of all, I ain't going nowhere that have the title Lynch in it.
Yeah. That's not
like,
a name.
Like what we should do. Like what we should.
That's
do
why he changed his last name to Maker.
Yeah.
We should. What we should do is we should share this podcast to every fucking white supremacy website in the world and say that I'm the part of the superior fucking genetical race. Are you fucking kidding me, mate?
White supremacy website.
Like, yeah.
They keep blocking me, especially on Facebook. I joined like a white supremacy thing and just pissed them off the entire time.
We'll talk about your Facebook exploits after this is all finished. We have 2 topics left. Do we want to save them for next week, or do we want to hit them fast and hard?
I think we should save them.
Overrun.
I want to save them.
I got some more sparkling water.
Let's go.
All right. What's okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Zorda.
On air production meeting.
Everybody,
if you guys were here on time,
we could have planned this. But we're gonna plan it right here live on air for everyone that is part of.
Brenna, I'm offended.
You should be.
I'm a little perturbed.
You fucking should be. Come on. I was here on time.
Are you awake? HR, Emma, are you awake?
Okay.
No,
everyone.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do?
I feel attacked right now. I feel attacked.
You should be.
Karen,
you should be.
Karen Maker, calm down.
Emma, wait until it's attacked.
Low blow.
What we're gonna do?
She says, "Fuck you, I'm sleeping."
I swear to fucking fake Jesus, I will mute fucking all of you. Shut up. Here's what we're gonna do.
Praise white Jesus.
Fucking women. What we're gonna do is we have several platforms that we're on right now. Right? We're on Facebook. Hi guys. We're on YouTube. What up, y'all? We're on Mixer, party people, and we're on Twitch. How you doing? We're on all of these platforms simultaneously. So by the week, you're gonna get the first little chunk for freezies on all.
Please put that away, Jartan. Put that away.
We're on all of the platforms for the first little bit. We're gonna get into the deep dive, and today's deep dive is going to be on Twitch. So please go to twitch.tv/thebinpodcast and come hang out with us. I'm gonna stop the live and I'm gonna restart the live, but it's only gonna be on Twitch. So if you want to see the rest of it, get a Twitch account, do whatever you need to do, and come hang out with us. Sound fair?
Can I?
No.
Yeah.
No, you may not. The whole shebang.
Oh, you're gonna fucking regret that. You're gonna regret that.
The whole I won't regret it because I wasn't finished talking.
Oh, you will.
The whole shebang will be on our streaming platforms or our podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts and
Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on all of your biggest podcast platforms. We are broadcasting through Acast, which are actually sponsoring now, so it's actually free for us.
Hey.
We don't have to pay for it.
Don't be jealous, Wayne.
Thanks, Acast. You're the best. Wayne,
Don't
go
be jealous,
ahead.
Wayne.
I was literally going to dedicate this episode of the BIM podcast to my late cousin Natalie, who we are laying to rest tomorrow. Love you, Nat. Miss you. Absolutely gutted. Your big cuz is going to do you proud and carry on trying to plug away at making his dreams come true. So, love you, Natalie Baker. You're a little legend. And rest in peace, darling. Love you.
That's all we got for this week. See you guys on this week. We will be on Twitch. Thank you so much for Brenna, for Mikey, for Cortez, Wayne, and Shartan. See you guys in 30 seconds. Peace.